Hello, this is Brittany from the JUNEI Hotel Kyoto.
Hello, this is Aya from the JUNEI Hotel Kyoto.
We're here at our Higashiyama location to tell you about the 3 varieties of tea that we have in each of our guest rooms, both at this location and in our Imperial Palace West location. All of our teas come from Uejima Sorokuen tea field and are provided in 3 loose leaf varieties. Now, for each of these teas, you're welcome to make them however suits your taste. It doesn't need to be very formal to get a good taste. We'll just talk a little bit about the different varieties. Now, what most people think of when it comes to Japanese tea would be sencha down here. It's a little bit dark in here in our lobby today with the natural lighting, but here we do have a nice subtle green tone to it, as this tea is not allowed to oxidize at all, unlike a black or a red tea that you might think of. This keeps it a more astringent flavor, but it's also known for a nice balance of flavors, so you'll get more sweetness along with that bitterness and bright, crisp flavor that it has. And while depending on how you make it, it might come out a little bit differently. You'd expect a little bit of a slight yellowy green tone to it as well. So we've made this long enough that we see a little bit of our powder from the natural tea leaves is already settled, but this is natural. Some people choose to drink that, some people choose to leave it. Any way you like to drink your tea is fine. Aya, how long do you like to steep your sencha?
I guess around 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. I like to keep mine on the really light side, about 1 minute.
1 minute, only 1 minute.
Yeah, maybe it's a little too late. I like to add extra tea to get the extra flavor. Since we are welcome to use as much as we like as well. On that note, I also suggest using water that's a little bit less than boiled temperature. So once it comes to a boil, I usually like to take the lid off of my kettle to let it cool down about 30 seconds to a minute so that it doesn't burn the very tender green tea leaves. So after that, we actually have a second variety of green tea that turns into more of a brown tone because it's roasted. Again, this is not oxidized tea, so it is technically a green variety, but hojicha is also made with more of the twigs and larger leaves, and so you get a little bit more of an earthy tone, but the firing process also gives it a very nice aroma. For whatever reason, this aroma reminds me of autumn, but you can drink this tea all year round. This flavor fits with a lot of things, doesn't it, Aya?
Yeah, I think so too.
There's so many sweets around Kyoto with hojicha flavor as well. Most people would think of matcha, but I think that I like hojicha parfaits a little bit more.
Oh, you like it?
Yes.
I like hojicha latte.
Latte, it also does work really well for lattes. So make sure you're not just limited to matcha while you're in Kyoto. And then finally, here in the back, we have a very interesting looking variety called genmaicha. Now, we don't have a quick way of saying this in English, but Aya, how would you explain genmaicha?
We use 3 kanji, Chinese characters to write down genmaicha. And gen means black or brown, mai means rice, and cha means tea.
Okay, great. So we hear right there in the name that this tea has rice in it. So that would be especially these puffed brown bits over here, but then some of it tends to look like popcorn, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like popcorn.
So visually, I think this is the funnest tea to look at. It is very similar to the sencha in color, but it's a much more mellow flavor with that earthiness of the rice to mellow it out, as compared to the roasted color that also goes with the hojicha over here. At the genmaicha, what's also nice about this is that it's a little bit lower in caffeine. So out of these 3 varieties of green tea that have been treated in different ways, Aya, which is your favorite?
My favorite is genmaicha.
Why is that?
It just reminds me of my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Yeah. I'm not a daughter of rice field farmer, but there's a lot of rice fields over around my house.
I guess I don't really have quite so much of a nostalgic feeling with it, but I think my favorite would be the hojicha, because it makes me think of a lot of cafes that I've enjoyed drinking hojicha in. So it's funny that tea can conjure these memories so vividly, and that's part of why it makes such a good souvenir after a trip to a place especially like Kyoto. We do offer these tea for sale to take home with you after a stay at the hotel, and like we said, we're also happy to bring people to go visit the tea farms for themselves, to see different parts of the process at different times of the year. So again, anytime you stay at the hotel, all 3 varieties are available to your heart's content, to make as much as you want, with as much as you want, however you want throughout your stay. So we hope that you'll come join us at either one of our locations soon and enjoy some tea for yourself. Bye.